Alright, so happy March 7th, 2016. I'm gonna bump a little disclaimer kind of right here before I even begin because, let's face it, I'm talking about some movies and my opinions only, so, don't get all mean and nasty at me because they're just my opinions. You may have liked the movies and whatnot, and that's fine. That's fine, you know. But here's my own opinion on the matter. So I have a list, a lot of list. So let's start with District 9 and the infection of camcorder movies that are just like, we're going to make a movie and it's going to be this whole lost footage thing. Please. You're just okay, I'm just going to have an epileptic seizure on the floor. Moving on. We'll leave it with that. Next up, let's move on to... Don't get me wrong, some remakes are good movies. Some. Not all. Some remakes are actually better than the one they made the year before, whenever they made the previous one, like when they made the Hulk and they had the one really bad one and then they had one that was okay and then they made another one and it was really, and then they toted it into the Avengers, and Mark Ruffalo was good, so he's a good Dr. Banner, and some of the others less so, but those aren't on my list for today. So Mark Ruffalo, you're okay. Not that you care what I say about you, because you make money, you take it to the bank, you're happy. Yeah, right? Okay. Annie, the 2014 movie, which... where do I even begin? Where do I even begin with that? Don't get me wrong, the original classic movie, it was good for what it was, but it seems that everybody who's made an Annie movie has forgotten one little thing about Annie. Annie was freaking blind in the cartoon strip. She wasn't in the movie. We'll give it that leeway. It was, the original classic movie was good. For what it was. It was good. Like the Ghostbusters movies, which the first one was, it was what it was. It was good. I'll talk about the new trailer about that later on, after I, throw up again. Yeah. We'll progress kind of wobbly forward. Then there's Ouija. The whole haunted house Ouija board thing is just old. It's like, we're going to take all these different horror movie haunted house concepts, throw it together in a blender, make a movie, and Ouija is the result. It's in a couple of different top 10 worst movies of 2014, so I'm not the only one who thought there's creepy glowing kitty cat eyes behind me in the distance over there. See? Creepy glowing kitty cat eyes. Wondering what I'm doing. Moving on to Selena Gomez and Ethan Hawke in Getaway. I don't even know where to begin with that. It's like, we're going to take a watered down Mission Impossible, Jason Statham, transporter, mash it together, have Jon Voight as a bad guy, which he's Jon Voight. He plays good bad guys. I mean, he's Angelina Jolie's dad after all, so, he plays good bad guys. That was about the only redeeming quality of that movie was Jon Voight as a bad guy. Way to go, Jon Voight! Then moving on to Scary Movie 5. 4 was just like bordering on me just wanting to like yank out all my hair and run screaming into the night, which kind of did anyway. But 5 was just leaving me going, why did I waste my time with this? Why? It's, 2 hours of my life I will never get back. I'm saying 2 hours because, let's face it, 2 hours were devoted to the movie, plus maybe being sick at the end of it, just to fill the extra space. So, next, we're going to progress on to, let's go with Fantastic Four, the new Fantastic Four movie that came out last year. The only redeeming quality of that movie, and you'll forgive me when I say this, but Kate Mara. The best redeeming quality of the entire movie is an actress who, she's not the most amazing. She's not, she's certainly not Jessica Alba from the original Fantastic Four movies that they did a couple years previously, but still, Kate Mara is like the best of that group. And then it's like halfway through the movie, they like fired the director, and like the second half of the movie was just crap. Where's the spaceships? Where's the cosmic rays? Where's the, sweeping waves of cosmic radiation? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to punch a hole through this reality into some alternate parallel universe with a weird planet and exploding whatever it was, and Doctor Doom is gonna be like this mess of melted plastic trash bag, environmental suit, glowing pseudo like Ben 10 alien circuitry thing. Just not. Sorry. Not just no. Just, some movies, let's just leave them alone. Which takes me to my next 2015 horrible mess, which just left me going, whose idea was this? The 2015 Poltergeist movie. Where do I even begin? They're taking something that was originally made in like the 1980s and taking that script, taking the mediocre bits of that script, putting it into a new quote-unquote relevant movie to recapture the people of the digital age who don't have any idea who the guy who played Coach was. Whatever. The cast is like, meh. It's like just one of those Paranormal Activity, just slush movies. Just no. Just another bad remake that just, you should have left it alone. The original was good. The original was a little long, but it was what it was, made when it was made, and it was a good movie, which is, it's a classic. It stands up to the test of time. It is a classic. Which moves us on to the people who loved the 80s for the video games. I remember Galaga because my dad played, there was an arcade at the local theater that we'd go to now and again, and Dad would be like, I'm going to play Galaga, and we'd miss the movie because he was trying to get a top score in Galaga. Adam Sandler, you're just not funny anymore. It's just terrible. And Paul Blart Mall Cop as the president. The most redeeming of this movie was like the Asian Pac-Man inventor guy and like the co-star lady. That's about it. I mean, I'm not even going to mention their name because the movie was just horrible. Adam Sandler, come on, please. Just like take your royalties and retire and be happy. And then that takes us to all the Transformer movies of the last 15 years. Michael Bay explosions. Michael Bay explosions. Michael Bay explosions. Michael Bay explosions. That's about it. Do I need to say more on that? Then we're going to quickly move on to Star Wars 1 through 3 and 7. Because let's face it, 4, 5, and 6, if you grew up in the 80s, 4, 5, and 6, classic Star Wars, sure, it's right in the middle, and you were always like, well, why are we starting in the middle and not like at episode 1 where things ought to start, and we're starting at like 4, and we're like, why? Why are we starting in the middle and not at the beginning? Why are we, what's just don't even get me started with the whole 1 through 3 mess. I mean, sure, I like Ewan McGregor. Don't get me wrong, I like him. He's played some really neat roles, really neat character actor for what work he gets, even though he's had some questionable stuff over the years, but still good actor. The whole Natalie Portman thing, she's she's okay for what she is, what she's done. Just, I'm left going, what is this? What are we doing here? Why are we devoting more energy into just, no. It's like every Smurf movie ever made, every Chipmunk movie ever made. It just leaves me scratching my head going, who allowed this horrible travesty on my 1980s childhood to be taken from its classic wholeheartedness and just turned into a steaming pile of poo. And not the good poo, not the stuff that you stick in your garden, but the stuff that is like radioactive contaminant, like kills all the people in the submarine explodes, the ocean turns bright red, kills all the wildlife, spreads across the globe, and then eventually turns everybody into man-eating zombies. They run out of food, the zombies turn on each other, they kill everything, and then the whole world is just a mess. Flaming ball of mess. Which leads us to the Transformers. Thank you, Michael Bay, ruining my childhood. Yeah, thank you, Michael Bay. Thank you. Really. Just quit, please. Stop. Come on, Optimus Prime. Can you fly? No. Can you fly? No. Can you fly? No. Can you fly? Oh yeah, I can fly. Well, why didn't you do it back then when we needed you really fast and you were like, well, I can't fly, and you're just driving? It just boggles my mind. It's like, come on. It's like Pan. What was up with that? I mean, Rooney Mara is Tiger Lily the Indian. She's very, very white. Not being racist or anything, but I think I even remember seeing something about Rooney Mara saying, why did I do this? What was I thinking? Why did I let my agent talk me into this? One of those things, like Jim and the Holograms was. It was like, well, what is this movie? What are we conveying here? Is it, like Josie and the Pussycats? Is it like that? Or is it like National Treasure? What is it? I couldn't figure it out. So that leads us next to, well, we're trying to wobble back through time again a little bit more, to R.I.P.D. CGI-wise, it was just horrible. I mean, if you'd taken out all the CGI and Kevin Bacon, the movie would have been okay. I mean, it was kind of a almost Men in Black movie, and yet at the same time we were like, what is going on with this? It's like The Matrix meets Men in Black meets Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, only all of the bad things about all of those movies. And now I've just recently finished watching the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot, remake, Ghostbusters 3, whatever they're calling it. Just, I'm sorry, but no. Just no. It's like they were having the whole, can, the Doctor in Doctor Who ever become a woman? Yes, but just no. He's always been a guy, so let's stick to that. I mean, sure, his name really may have been Susan and he wants you to accept his life choices, but I grew up with the Tom Baker era, so, Tom Baker was my doctor. Everybody can say, well, Troughton was my doctor. I grew up in the Troughton era, so he was my doctor. Or, I grew up in the Pertwee era. Pertwee was my doctor, and, I got to see it, go from black and white into color for the first time, and was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that the Daleks were this color. And you're like, I like this. And then, of course, they've got some people. Babel Color is doing some like coloration work for some of the early black and white stuff, which I like that idea. I mean, it'd be cool to see it, somebody taking black and white episodes of Doctor Who, colorizing them, and saying, here is my take on what it would look like. But of course, to do that, you really should honor the black and white too, and have both, and do like, a special edition collector's thing. And that would work. That would be good. We'd all be happy, and we wouldn't be like, what is the deal with this Ghostbuster movie? I mean, where is, Dan Aykroyd? Where are the Ghostbusters? Just these SNL people who, don't get me wrong, some people find them funny. I don't. I don't find any of those people funny. Not a one of them. Dana Carvey was like just crude. You know, it's like Andy Rooney later in life was just crude, just dirty and disgusting and just terrible. And of course, these are my own opinions, so don't go suing me for defamation. This is just me saying what me saying what I think. So, this is not saying like, oh, you're all terrible, go away. Just that I don't like that. The whole crude comedy that's out now that just has taken over everything is just. I will eventually. I avoid some movies because of it's got this person in it. I will avoid the movie. I won't even go see it. I'll be like, there's a bunch of movies that haven't made what I've discussed on this video that I didn't even think about watching or rating or saying this is terrible because I just knew it was going to be terrible. I knew by looking at who was in the cast was like, okay, so there's nobody in this movie I like, nobody in this movie I know, nobody in this movie I want to get to know. It's like there's some TV shows that I'm like, why? Why should I even bother devoting my time to this? It's like Gotham. Why? I mean, we know how it ends. If you've ever watched, classic Adam West Batman, if you've ever read the comics, if you watched any of the classic Batman movies over the years, some of them were better than others. Some of them were just like campy garbage. Sorry, Uma Thurman, you were about the best thing out of that one movie. You know which movie I'm talking about, even though the movie was pretty horrible. Uma Thurman in spandex, come on. I'm a guy. Uma Thurman is a woman, relatively hot. That's about the best redeeming quality of the movie. Sorry, Alicia Silverstone, just it didn't work. It's like, okay, this rant is very long. Yes, very, very long. It'll be 2 hours by the time I'm done, which takes me to certain other movies like Ender's Game. Now, I had read the book, the fiction, full novel book, which came from a novella, which was like short fiction before that. And, I liked the book. Of course, it took me 6 months to read it because, let's face it, I read terribly slowly. They made it into a movie. Harrison Ford was in it. He was not bad. I mean, it's, Harrison Ford. I mean, if he's not Indiana Jones or Han Solo, what else is there for him to do, right? It was a good movie. I mean, if you take into account that you throw out the book, you pay no attention to the book, and, the movie is just the movie. The movie is the movie, the book is the book, and the two are two different things. You can enjoy the movie. The movie is an okay movie. It may entice you to go and read the book and realize, hey, they deleted an entire character out of the movie. An entire character. And you're left going, didn't even realize that. Because when you watch the movie, they seamlessly blend it through, and, the bad guy on the space station, he gets what's coming to him because in the book you really wish that he just gets his skull beaten in because he's an irritation. Anyway, if you also follow me for my NosTale work, I do still have that going. I do still play. there I have a whole list on my NosTale guide. It's froggle.net/NosTale. It's 40 slash, you can find it. It's, yeah, you can just look at my channel and I've got a section for that. I do still play it. I have a bunch of games I don't play. If you think of any MMORPGs that I ought to look at and try, by all means, drop a comment. Any other movies you think I ought to talk about, or something I didn't mention here which I ought to have, or something I got totally wrong here that it happens, comment below. Also, happy YouTubing for all those people who do that, and have a wonderful evening. Bye.